Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to our Snooker 19 Pro career with Neil Robertson, and today is time for the semi-finals of the Gibraltar Open against the Welsh potty machine, Mark Williams. Now, I didn't realise we've actually got quite a good record against Mark Williams. I was under the impression that we've got quite a poor record against him, but if we look at the stats, we've actually got a 3-2 record against Mark Williams. Now, you can take the final result with a bit of a pinch of salt with a 1-0 win at the shootout, but still, it still classes as a win. So the first time we played against Mark Williams in this career, we beat him by 3 frames to 2 in the semi-final of the Scottish Open, a tournament that we went on to win. And then later in the year, our form started to diminish a little bit, hence why we got beaten by 3 frames to 1 to Mark Williams, and then it was the same result in the last 16, the first round of the Champion of Champions this season. But in the 2 games that we've played after that this season, we've beaten the Welsh pot machine. We beat him by a big margin in that Daffabet Masters final by 6 frames to 2, and most recently 1-0 in the Bet Victor shootout. So today, it is time for the semi-final of the Gibraltar Open. So let's see if we can go and make it 4-2, get to only... what sort would that be? So we got to the Shanghai Masters final, we got to the Daffabet Masters final, the Snooker shootout final, and I think that's it this season, unless I'm getting really stupid and forgetting something. So I think if we win this, this will be our 4th ranking final of the season. Just a bit of a side note. This is my first episode that I'm doing with earphones in, because I have realised on a few prior episodes there's a little bit of background from the telly. From the commentary that's coming through my TV, and obviously it comes through the game capture device as well, so didn't want any sort of echo in there. So this is going to be the first time, I think ever, that I've used earphones on my videos just to hear what the commentators are saying. So that's an added element of pressure in today's episode, but at least I can hear quite clearly what Folds and Gilbert? Hendon. God knows why I'm thinking David Gilbert's going to be commentating with Neil Folds, but there you go. Maybe a post snooker career move for Dave Gilbert, who knows? I think he'd probably rather be on the farm. But anyway, a decent break off. That touch off the yellow is just actually what we might need. It's a good break off. Not quite got the power to get the snooker, but this is again another semi-final. Got to the semi-final of the Coral Players Championship, of course, and succumbed to Mark Selby's. Hopefully it's not another chance missed today, but after beating Ronnie by 3 frames to a decider, beating Bingham by 3 frames to a decider, beating Sing Tong by 3 frames to a decider, it kind of feels like it's almost meant to be, and that's a great first pot on the red, and that really opens up the table. Feels really weird to be listening to the crowd clapping and all that sort of stuff, because my TV obviously is usually on fairly quiet so that you guys can hear what's going on. But it just adds a, if you think about it, it adds an element of realism to it as well, doesn't it?
Aiming for the centre pocket here.
Maybe not in terms of even the commentary team, sure, but in terms of the crowd reaction, etc. But that wasn't the best. We were going for screw back. We actually hit the red, so that wasn't the best shot, but there is certainly opportunities. It's always the risk when... I'm just going to get this pot and get it out of there. We'll probably go for a bulk colour. That was the aim, just to make sure we could get on something. Yeah, we did lose the cue ball a little bit. Not the best shot in the world, I must admit. I mean, there's nothing straight on here at all. I mean, the only shot that's straight is pretty much yellow to bottom pocket, but it leaves a lot on if we miss this, so it's quite a risk. We'll have a think about this. I mean, brown to bottom, it actually isn't too bad, but again, it's a long pot, it's a risk. But I think, to be honest, that it's less of a risk, in my opinion, than going for something to a middle pocket. It's either that or we just play behind a colour, which I think is probably the best thing to do, actually, here. There's no obvious option, so I think that was probably the best thing to do.
Robertson,
he's got to be pretty lucky to get out of this and not leave anything on. He's actually hit the pink first. So it is a foul from Mark Williams, but because he's left the ball on, we're going to play on from that.
It was a very tough shot, though.
So a bit of a double whammy, really. We've got 6 points from the foul. We also get to take this opportunity. Yes, we could force him to retake, but you know, it's a good opportunity here, and we don't want to play with fire too much. We don't want to take too many risks. Getting on the black for the first time. Looking decent though here in this first frame. obviously by no means over. Overplayed that a little bit, but we'll get away with it.
8.
Because there are so many options. Just check the black goes. I don't think it will actually, but it's always worth looking, isn't it? Because most of the time when you play for the black, you're playing pretty much exclusively for the black. No, there is a space for the black to go there, so I'm quite happy to play this nice and soft. Off the cushion for the black. Oh dear.
9.
That was a bad shot. That was a poor shot, that. Can't even get to the blue, so it's going to have to be the green. Again, as I've said before, the only solace is that there are plenty of reds to go for here. So we've got to be pretty unlucky not to be on anything, but there's nothing that's massively open.
Position looks pretty good to me.
12.
But as I said, because of the opportunity, because of how open the reds are,
Sink this into the
you've got to be pretty unlucky not to be on anything.
He's lost position here.
Well,
13.
again, not good enough. I don't think we're on anything, actually. That red has really knackered us. Of course, we can play with black, but again, no, well, it could be an idea to play the black. Don't hit the jaw. That's it. That's better. And it's not completely safe, but we're up bulk.
Robertson, 13.
I think that's the most important
This is a
thing.
half chance.
He can only take on a half chance, a half pop. That's a great pop.
That's a tremendous pop.
Not much of a surprise he's got to that.
1.
So Mark Williams has got his first chance here in this frame. As I said, by no means done this frame. And one of the risks when the reds are so open is that you can easily get caught out by that. You know, we're very lucky really in our shot that we played for the black, and we hit a red and we're right behind a red that one of the bulk colours was on.
Yeah, played it well.
11. 12.
So that's one of the risks with reds being so open.
Well, an excellent pop.
I would guess that Mark Williams will go on to win this now.
To drop this in
Again, it's a good opportunity.
20.
And as I always say in these best of fives, the first frame is the most important. You'd always love to be,
23.
more than any other frame arguably, on the right side of this first frame. So important. Just means that the pressure's not on you, because in that second frame, if you go and lose, then you're 2-0 down, and it's all on you to go and win then. So that's why I think the first frame is massive, particularly in a format like this, the best of 5. Best of 7, best of 9, and you know, any longer than that, it's not as much of an issue.
30.
But he's not gone for the highest colours this frame. That's why the break is only 30 despite having 6 reds.
This looks relatively easy.
But I don't think there should be any problem. Any massive problem anyway with him getting a good enough break to win the first frame here. Just a little bit unlucky, you have to say. We did the job. We opened up the reds. And from there, if you're a punter, you'd be rubbing your hands together if you put your money on Robertson to win the frame.
38.
But things happen sometimes. Can't do too much about it. And it looks like he's just going to go through the motions here. Only 16 ahead though, so it's not clear cut just yet. And based on his decision not to play the top colours, he will probably need all 3 reds.
44. 51.
Could potentially make a... Could he? Ooh, no he can't now. Thought he could make a century, but no he can't. There's only 35 left on the table, of course. He's 32 ahead. This red will finish it.
Amazing.
And there you go.
Shuts the door on his opponent in this
Black will
frame.
definitely prevent us coming back.
60.
Lead of 40 with 27 left.
And that effectively shuts out his opponent in this frame.
Good break from Mark Williams. Clearly shows he's up for the fight.
69.
It clearly highlights that the Gibraltar Open isn't a quagmire of a tournament, like a tournament that you go, oh well, there's no point going for it.
72.
As I said, we've got to the semi-finals now. It is definitely worth going for it, but Without fear of contradiction here.
86.
Oh, not without fear of contradiction necessarily, but without any fear of jinxing anything. Be in our favour, I suppose, this time. Mark Williams has won the first frame.
87.
Break of 87. I don't think he'll make it 94, but he might have a crack at it. No, he's not going to bother unless he's playing a ball off the cushion. But where's the cue ball? It's not going to matter if this goes in. Well,
Foul.
it does,
It doesn't really
but it doesn't matter, as David Hendon says.
Foul.
And a good break of 87 from Mark Williams there, and that secures
And
the first frame.
Mark Williams.
And that is the frame. Well played.
So the onus on us massively now to go and win the next
Well,
one.
He's established a one-frame lead here. Some pretty impressive snooker in that last frame.
Thank you. The second frame. Mark Williams to break.
So a good start for Willow. Good aggressive break there. Not quite paid dividends though. He has left a red on.
This is really tricky.
That's a great
It's
opener.
opening red.
Doesn't open anything else up, but in the circumstances there wasn't really much point trying to.
1.
I don't think this red will go. We've got to get quite precise with our position, I would say. Sort of there, but obviously as you can see the shot power is going to be far too hard to get anything like that. Suppose I can give it a go though.
And he's going for it.
Blue's there. No, I think Pink's going to block our view. Yeah, it is.
Hasn't really worked out.
That's okay. Again, it was only a half chance to seriously get on that red. But we can at least leave it safe. If we actually hit it there. Oh, we didn't hit anything else, so no illegal contact.
Foul. That
But now we missed it.
Foul and a miss. Neil Robertson 6.
Not the worst punishment in the world, really. Especially when he's played a shot like that. He needs some safety. But hitting that yellow like he has there is certainly not what he needs. So, bit of a disaster for Willow there. A real disaster. Goodness me. So we need to pounce from this opportunity. It's a great one. And it couldn't be a straighter red that we're starting with.
Great shot.
Excellent cueing.
1.
Not the best shot there.
Oh, that's left him a little awkward there.
8.
Black off its spot, crucially. So this red will go. Let's make it a little bit
Well, he's
awkward.
looking at potting this into the right corner pocket.
But we've
It's
survived.
an excellent pot.
Good recovery shot.
Oh, wonderful shot.
9.
Let's get the black box back on its spot. Let's just check that we'll be on something afterwards. Unfortunately, not quite straight on the black.
He's looking to pop this into the left corner pocket.
I've just panicked. I just thought, will the black go back on its box? If it doesn't, we will snooker ourselves. But no, we're quite alright, quite fine.
16.
It's always worth checking that, because you don't look like a complete plonker after the event.
Well, it goes. Half a chance here. Fabulous pot.
That's great.
That's not got the legs, unfortunately, to get on the black. A
17.
little bit poor, you have to say, we've been so far today. A little bit weak with our positional shots. Not quite come off yet. And I think if we play this pink, we're just going to try and come up and down the table.
He just wants to slot this into the middle pocket.
Well, that was poor. We've not quite woken up yet.
Neil Robertson 17.
We don't want to avoid what happened in the last semi-final we played.
1.
Well, black's off.
Fabulous. Absolutely
Good yellow.
fabulous pot.
That is a good pot, to be fair. Mark Williams looks well up for it, but as I've said, we need a bit of a wake-up call here. Sloppy in both the first 2 frames.
4.
Interesting.
11.
Can't get too cut up about it though. Just need to do better next time we're at the table. Much like the last frame, we might not get another opportunity this frame.
Perfect cueing required for this shot.
But he's missed the blue. Well, I thought he'd have gone for the black there. That's a real surprise. But a real get out of jail free. You can't get on that red. But red to middle. I always think the best way to stop worrying about a pocket, a middle pocket, is to just go for it straight away after and get the pot. That takes any bad memory away. And just make sure that it's a memory of potting the ball. There's going to have to be a bulk colour here.
Very tricky shot coming up.
Got to have a bit of luck here.
That's a top shot. Outstanding potting.
Need a little bit more on it to be perfectly straight on the red to the middle pocket. It's okay, I think.
Playing this into the right centre pocket.
Good pot. And that's a great bit of position there.
Real opportunity.
5.
Just played the cannon into those 3 reds and it looks like it's worked out. Got to get this black though. It's not a obvious pot. It's there. That's good position for the red on the cushion.
12.
So like I said a little bit earlier, yes, we didn't take the opportunity earlier. We can't change the past. We can change what we do at the table now, though.
13.
This is definitely an opportunity. I didn't look at these 2 reds, but perhaps I should have done. Silly that, but luckily we've got another chance, so, you know, I don't really know why we didn't look at those reds. That was a bit foolish of me, to be honest. Just to make sure they did go. But they didn't, so this one is going to be the have to one go for, and it's dropped.
21.
So, blue next. Just try and nudge the black out of the way. That'll do.
26.
Bit of a tight pot on the red, but again, hopefully one that's achievable. But we're going to start that one again, I think. I don't think any of these go, so it's not worth looking at them. Let's just start with this angle again. It's a tricky one, but it's there. Good pot. We put our minds to it. We're not bad at this old snooker lark, are we? Try and play with some power here, hope for some luck. No, all we've hit is the black. That's absolutely fine. I'm okay with that.
32.
So, just get this up the table. That's absolutely fine for me. No sort of potting chance here.
Neil Robertson, 32.
We're nearly there with this frame. Didn't want that double kiss. Arguably, we don't want them 2 reds on the cushion. But hopefully, we can get this red. Lovely. Good pot.
That's a great pot.
And if we get the black, that should pretty much be it for the frame.
1.
So just the black needed.
And in it goes.
We got the black.
That should be
And we've got great position on the red. That's brilliant. Good queuing.
8.
So in a frame where we thought we wouldn't get a chance, Mark Williams mucked it up and he must be gutted at that. It's a great opportunity to get 2-0 up, but he hasn't took it.
Position looks good for a colour.
And so it's our turn to take the frame. And now it turns into a best of 3. This would be one in open play I'd be pretty worried about, but seeing as we're not in open play, again, I'm not too worried about these fitnesses. Unlucky. But it doesn't really matter. We've won the frame. 55 ahead with 35 remaining. And as I said previously, this is now a best of 3. So, first to 2 to reach the final.
Thank you. The third
And a
frame.
good, scrappy, even game so far. Not one frame that's been one-sided yet. I think that's probably to come. It's a decent break-off, not the best, but it's okay.
Pace is key here.
Importantly, it doesn't leave anything on. That cue ball's going to miss the top pocket, luckily, but, well, again, his safety's not been the best today.
Half a chance here.
That's a great pop. Might not be able to do this in one visit, but it's a start. Unfortunately, we can't quite get to the black, which is a shame. That's the way the red bounced there. You can't do too much about that.
Long pot. Right
Red bounced. What am I on about the red bounced? I do get my terminology all completely wrong sometimes. The collision between the two reds. I think that was what I was going for more so. This is a bit tighter than I thought it would be, actually. Interesting.
Tricky shot here.
What a
It's there, though.
pot that is.
He couldn't have played that any better.
7.
Well, that's enough
Not got into the
down.
reds. You don't want this behind the blue. That's...
14.
Well, would you believe it? Would you, Adam and Eve it? Not the hardest one in the world to get out of, I suppose.
Conscious of not overhitting this.
But a bit of a silly mistake all the same.
That very well.
Touching ball.
Neil Robertson.
So he's going to get this back up to bulk.
Touching ball.
A sensible decision.
He's playing the safety and aiming to get the cue ball tight against the cushion.
Probably a little bit too hard there. No damage done though. Nothing left on. Looks like this is going to be one of those scrappy frames again. Been a really enjoyable match so far. I hope you guys think the same. Let that one red run free. Is the blue going to be good cover? Yeah, the blue's not my best friend today, is it? Hopefully get some cover in the bulk, or else he's got a chance. No, I haven't got the legs, unfortunately. Maybe a bit hard, that collision with the green when he pushed it right behind the brown. That's Mark Williams' first pot of the frame.
1. Well, it goes. Half a chance.
Not going for anything massive here, so just the 3.
Would you believe it?
3.
Gets away with it though.
I'm not sure what happened there, but it's a poor result.
Mark Williams.
Or does he?
3.
Oh, he just does. Just gets away with it. Very interesting. Now, I want this to avoid the black, but it's going to be quite tricky to avoid the black, actually. So, I think we're just going to have to play up to the reds. We haven't really got much more of a choice. So, a poor safety from Mark Williams, but actually, one that has really worked out for him. But where's that cue ball? Oh, well. Again, I can't tell you whether that was intentional or not, to be honest. Fascinating safety battle, though, here now. If that's got the legs to go up to the red. No, we missed it. Well, let's play it again. Again, not the worst in the world, but if this does come down to, for example, a last black, then, you know, we could rue our mistake there by giving away some points. But that's a bad mistake from Willow. He's left a red on here.
Tricky pot, no doubt.
He'll be gutted with himself about that.
And the cue ball is
Absolutely
very
spitting
nicely.
feathers.
1.
So we'll play the red and come all around the table. Doesn't hurt that we've hit the yellow there.
6.
Still get to the red.
Well, he's taking it on to the left corner.
We've not avoided the cannon with the red, but actually it's been okay. So when you've got the rub with the green, it's quite alright.
Good.
7.
That's a good split. He's got a real chance here.
Good split, definitely. Good chance here. Good chance to take a 2-1 lead. Which would really put us in control. Been at this point in the frame before though and mucked it up, so it's not all done.
15.
I know this isn't a deciding frame, but I think the way that we played that last frame against Ronnie in the last episode was brilliant.
22.
I don't usually have a good positive thing to say about my own play, but I really was chuffed with that because the way we played, we were just composed. We just played every ball, you know, focused on every single ball, didn't get complacent. And more importantly, didn't give Ronnie a single chance in the frame.
Nicely
We
off
got to the
cover.
table, played the reds, made sure we won the frame, pretty well cleared up.
He's aiming to
And just
split
made sure that we won. Left it in absolutely no doubt.
Excellent shot.
And that's what we've got to do in every frame now.
A wonderful pot.
Okay, not necessarily every frame in every single tournament, but in frames like this, frames where we have got a chance, we have got to take them. We've got to take chances when we get them, because sometimes, especially when you're going through a poor run, those chances are few and far between.
30.
But we're looking pretty good here, playing pretty fluently. It just comes naturally when you've got a fluid play. You just want to make sure that you don't get too fluid and get too confident and miss something and leave a massive opportunity. Because we all have a tendency when we play to love to smash open the reds, and sometimes if you miss the black that perhaps you're opening up the smashing up the reds to do, or playing a shot like that where you got a little bit wrong, then you know it's a bit of a problem. But what we're going to do is just play this
Gets
behind the
this
black.
right, it'll be a real tester for his opponent.
Sometimes safety is just the best way to go.
He's
We
got
mucked
it.
up the shot.
Great shot.
Okay, we can't do it in one visit, but
38.
again, you have to get out of a snooker there, and that gives us a chance again. Much better to give your opponent the hard shots rather than take on the hard shots yourself. But we look strong here in this frame. We do look good. And it does sound obvious, it does sound a bit silly. But every frame in a best of 5 is massive.
He's aiming
Particularly
for the
ones
left
like
corner
this.
here.
When it's one each, that's a
He's
worry.
there.
Need that
He seems full
cue
of
ball to pull
confidence at
up.
the moment.
It's okay though.
6.
It's these frames where, you know, it's one each and the tide can seriously turn. And I really think this does now put the pressure on Mark Williams.
Well,
Obviously, he's
taking it
got to
on
win the
to
next
left
frame,
corner.
like we had to when we initially went behind.
In it goes.
It looks like, again, don't want to jinx anything, but looks like we've won 2 in a row. So that's important. But as I've said, we're going to keep playing.
14.
It's a very similar situation to that frame against Ronnie, actually, in that final frame.
This is the key shot. If this goes in, you fancy him for the frame.
You heard what David Hendon said. I certainly did, and hopefully he didn't hear it as a
Goes.
bit of reverb twice this time.
A real way for his opponent to win the frame now.
15.
Just have a look what the best shot is here. Not the best, but it doesn't really matter.
22.
Tough shot coming up.
What a magnificent pot that is.
Bit of exhibition snooker there. Just a bit of a hit and hope. And it worked. And sometimes when you've got the rub of the green, the rub of the table, sometimes it just happens like that.
He's lining this up into the right middle pocket.
Just going to call it a day there, I think. There's no way that Mark Williams is going to come back.
Neil Robertson, 29.
No need to do anything fancy. And for the first time in this match, and at a crucial point, we have the lead.
So, he's nudged in front.
Can we continue our good run against Mark Williams? We need one of the next 2 frames. We need to avoid Mark Williams winning both of them. And for a player who needs to win this frame, it's not the best break-off, is it? Has to be said.
He's taking the red on.
Straight as you'd like.
That's
Nice, easy starter.
1.
This will be at least 16 points from this opportunity.
Perfect pace required for this shot.
Nine.
Anything but straight on the black, eh?
Playing this with a lot of power. That's a great split. He'll be unlucky if he's not anything here.
It's a good split, and it's cleared the pink, so that is a good split. Got away with that there, goodness me. Was panicking a little bit. Did think that might not go right, but it certainly has. And we've got a great chance to go and win the match from here.
17.
Not a brilliant one, especially now we're completely straight on the blue. A bit of a pickle here. Could do with this running. I think it's okay.
19.
I can get on the red. Just. Good pot, but where's the cue ball? Oh, well. Gone in off. It wasn't the perfect shot.
19. Mark Williams.
It's pretty poor. Don't know if he meant that. I presume he did. So, no point trying to play it back up to books. We could leave that red by the black on. So the simplest thing to do is play it down the table and make sure you can't pot that red. He's tried to double on that. Hasn't worked, but he's not left it on. So once again, just down the table. We've got to have quite a poor shot play with far too much power here, really, for it to come off the cushion and be potable. Yes, there's a tight pot potentially on, or a double. But again, as a player who needs to win the frame, he's not going to take that sort of chance, I wouldn't have thought. Another potential double here. I've got the legs. And this time, we've got a bit of a chance of giving it a pot. I think it's worth a chance. And we bided our time there. And it's us who gets the red. Great stuff.
1.
This is a big shot now. Firstly, we've got to pot the blue, which I'm pretty confident in. Next, let's hope for a good split. Blue's there. That's step 1 done.
He would have hoped for a better split there.
6.
That's a shame. Just checking there's nothing up the table. So this is a really tight red. So we're not going to play it with much power. Give the pocket every chance. Solid pot.
7.
And we're just about on a colour. I'm going to play the yellow that's up the table.
It's half a chance.
I do think that
Chance,
sometimes when you're
nonetheless.
playing the positive shots, that most of the time you'll get the luck you deserve. Sometimes you don't.
He's lost the cue ball a touch here.
9.
How have I lost the cue ball? I got a straight pot. Perhaps that's not if I get put my bloody teeth back in. That might not be the best approach here, that shot.
He's playing
It's a
the
risk
right
to
line.
play this at this sort of angle at that power, but I think we're okay. It's there. Not exactly how I envisaged that shot to go, but still, we're on the blue. Gotta pot this.
Well, no surprises here with the long pot attempt.
It's there.
Careless.
15.
I really don't know what's careless about that, I have to say. Just gotta be careful that we don't knock the cue ball in.
Impressive shot with the rest.
But yeah, I've got no idea why they're saying that was careless. We're playing with fire a bit here because we are whacking the balls around and hoping for a bit of luck. But what we are going to do here is just put this behind the blue. Seems like a good chance.
That's beautifully judged.
Neil
Just
Robertson.
try and wind Mark Williams up. He's out the snooker, but we've got a chance.
Successfully gets out the snooker, but he's left an opportunity here.
1.
Sometimes you just need a bit of helping hand.
That's ended up more awkward than he would have wanted.
They really don't like me today, do they? Moan, 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 moan. Awkward, awkward, awkward.
Nine.
I'll tell you what, this is an awkward shot though.
We know what a prolific long potter he is, so I'd assume he'd take this on.
Great blue. But is the
Lost
position
cue
there?
ball
No,
a
it's
tad
not.
there.
14.
It's okay. Just have to play this nice and soft and get it back up the table. Nothing lost.
Neil Robertson. 14.
Well, I thought I'd use that respite to blow my nose. He's not left this red on. There's a sniff at this one though if it goes. I don't think it will. Ooh, well. Is there a slightest of gaps? I'll tell you what, at this point, I think it's worth the risk.
He's tempted by this red. That's a top shot.
And our instinct was certainly correct. Our long potting game is really on today.
1.
And for me, that might well be a frame winner, but you know, we're just gonna not take any unnecessary risk here.
Snooker's opponent behind the brown.
No unnecessary risks. We're nearly there to get into this final,
Neil Robertson. 1.
but as I said before, sometimes you just need a helping hand. This is in no way to disrespect Mark Williams. There haven't been any clean frames today.
1.
But sometimes, as long as you win, not really that much of a problem.
So this pot will leave his opponent in snookers required.
Well, you heard what David Hendon said.
Trademark long pots. Brilliant.
And that should be it.
Let's
What's the
finish
point
this
of
off,
no
though.
return in this match?
6.
As I said, let's not start celebrating early.
7. 14.
Missed the red, but I don't think he'll be coming back. He might do. I wouldn't blame him,
Frame
but he's not going to.
and match.
And so our brilliant form against Mark Williams continues.
Finals, incredible.
And we're in the final. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Fantastic. And what I have noticed, actually, for the semis and the finals, you usually have all the player presentations and all that fancy stuff, but there wasn't here in this semi-final. So we'll have to see if there is in the final next time. What a great result that is against Mark Williams. When we went 1-0 down, I thought, it's going to be a decider here, but we played with real conviction in those 3 frames, took 3 successive frames, and we're in a final. And we haven't lost a final since the Shanghai Masters. So who is our opponent? Would you believe it? Again, Satnav Selby. Well, well. Of course, we played him in the Shanghai Masters final and lost. We've got quite a record against Mark Selby in finals. And actually, it's not £15,000 for winning this tournament. It's £25,000. So a little bit more than I thought. And the shortest final, obviously, apart from the shootout that we've played. So the best of 5. The first to 3 to win the tournament. It'll put us above Luca Brissell, definitely. And a little bit close to those guys. So, who knows? You know, 480,000. I don't think it's going to happen. Because surely it'd just be the 2-year stage to knock off whatever they'd got from the Gibraltar Open before. So I doubt that Lazowski and Kyron Wilson are going to fall behind us. But it is a good opportunity if we can win this tournament to get a little bit close to those guys. And who knows, with a good China Open and a good World Champs, we could be right back in the money again. And funnily enough, after a poor season, we could well end up being higher in terms of the rankings and where we started. But there's a long way for that yet. We have a chance to add that Gibraltar Open to our trophies list next time out. And hopefully that's going to be something that you guys are going to come along for. Potentially to win our third ranking trophy of this series. Thank you very much for watching though, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. I did massively. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment your thoughts and subscribe for regular snooker content, including the Grand Slam, the final against Satnav Selby, the Jester from Leicester, on Wednesday at 6 PM. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for that final. Goodbye for now.